Thunder Gaming presents Thunder Smash 2. 8 of the best players in the world. Team Liquid the Buzz. T1 Larry Lurr. World Best Gaming MVD. Most Valuable Gaming Dark Wizzy. CLG Void. Most Valuable Gaming Salem. Demise GG Nicko. And Panda Global Eason. 8 players. $10,000 prize pool. Live from Los Angeles. Thunder Smash 2 Invitational starts now.
We have Vicky Kitty joining me on the mic. We've commented before, haven't we?
Man, before have we? I don't know, man.
A couple of times.
Just like, of course we have.
One or two.
It's been about like 2 to 3 times. I feel like now.
It has, but every time we commentate, it's been a blast, especially after doing the MVG Florida event.
It was actually the first big Ultimate event to happen in Florida. So
Yep.
to have the honor to commentate that, especially within my home region, like we take those.
The Mew Ace Soft Zero upset, the MK Leo run, the Salem's Link, all the storylines there, which were created at once. But of course, all those actions result in a reaction being here at Thunder Smash 2, and now our bracket is set. And honestly, it did not play out any way that myself or the people I pulled on Twitter even expected.
Yeah, I mean, again, you had to sit down like earlier on when the show, like before the show started, and we all talked about our own ideas of what the results in the bracket could be and who we could possibly see taking the whole thing. And now I'm completely thrown off because MVD's playing like he's on fire. Dark Wizzy's playing on fire. And that's actually, Dark Wizzy in particularly, I know he was just here, was the one player that I know that we were thinking about. Like, man, this guy has stuck with Mario and he's been able to get all these results just with Mario. Like, what else can he do? He even blames himself for any shortcomings that he has and not his character. So that's actually something rare we don't really have.
I know in the roundtable discussion, I asked who was a dark horse this event, who's it going to be, and Dark Wizzy is, ironically, our dark horse for the event. He's the one who's played far above his seed. It's one thing to, get second in your pool or third. He got first. I think he dropped, what, 1 game total, maybe?
I think so.
1 or 2?
I'm so impressed, honestly, because I was a little worried, specifically for Nicko and for Dark Wizzy, because I would say that they're the slept-on picks here at this Invitational, and Dark Wizzy obviously just showing up what he's got.
And we're going, of course, right into it with our first match, CLG Void versus Demise Nicko. 2 of these players both had a great run and great attempts in pools, but it was ultimately Nicko who comparatively probably had a better result in beating the Buzz 2-1 here. So showing he has higher peaks, but really is a question of how well versed he is in the Pichu matchup.
Yeah, and I'm actually really glad to see that Shulk is coming out a lot more, especially from Nicko, who's been playing the character since Smash 4, probably considered the best Shulk main of his time. And he's been doing a lot of work. I feel like, after what we saw in MomoCon between DeBuzz versus Salem Shulk, anything could be possible. But, we have Void on the screen here, and I actually spoke to him a little bit before the match, and I asked him what his opinion was, and obviously, it's not very easy for Pichu to be able to get in, especially on Shulk's big sword, but he decides to go Pichu over Pikachu because Pichu does more damage control, at least up close, than Pikachu really does.
It really is a question, though, too, right? Void was playing Pikachu, had some success in locals, but ultimately, going back to your main in Pichu, even while nerfed, you still understand the fundamentals of this slightly lighter character better, right? The range is very, very different from Pikachu, the recovery is a bit different, the way projectiles are a little different, and the weight of Pichu, very different from Pikachu. So it's one he's stuck to, and I'm not surprised he's playing that now. And great switch to shield by Nicko to make sure he doesn't die. Lives at 116 here on the left side of Pokemon Stadium. Void attempting an edge guard beginning with the forward air, but can't really fight the backslash, especially with that jump Monado art from Nicko.
Yeah, he did a really good job at drifting away from the ledge there because, of course, that Void always tries to get that 2-frame with the forward tilt, but he drifted way too far back for Void to be able to capitalize off of that situation. He does get the grab and the thunder, and that's definitely going to be his stock, especially since he was in Buster Art, which actually increases the damage he deals, but at least decreases the knockback he deals.
Yeah, when you're playing Shulk, you do have to sort of hedge your bets pretty well. Those Monado arts will give you buffs in certain ways, but also give you certain nerfs to your character in much more important ways. So you got to be careful what you choose there. Back to shield at 44%.
Oh, I love the way that Void actually got back into the stage using his recovery to angle away from Nicko there, not trying to be overly aggressive. Of course, Nicko could just swing his sword every time he recovers, so that's why you see Void actually being really attentive with the way he gets back onto the ledge.
And with the speed of Minato, you're able to sort of tease. You jumping in, thinking you're going to aerial, and then hop back, sort of to break his ankles, and a great nair right there to actually get the lead. Nicko looking pretty impressive in this first game.
Yeah, and that's why you see him switching to jump now that he has Void on his last stock. Just increases his jump height, his air speed, and overall his air slash height. That's why you saw him be able to actually get back onto the stage after drifting back from Void's attempt on the forward tilt.
That's one thing with Shulk. No matter what, his range will outrange your moves. Goes around his entire body too. As we're seeing, Void has barely touched Nicko in this last stock, and now at 124%. This might be an easy first game right now for Nicko. And remember, this is the bracket. This is now in losers, so this will be all best of 5 sets as expected. The up B on 2 hits. Void barely lives, comes back down. One more Thunder Jolt smash. Minato coming out, deals much more knockback than expected, missing the down B setup.
Oh, that was a pretty hard up B out of shield right there.
And the backslash once again. What can you do here? Up throw, down B. Beautiful use of shield right there to not die. The answer of the edge guard will be right here. 160 Pichu, you are very light. You'll die from almost anything at this point. So Void needs to go for some high-risk plays to have any chance of winning an already destructive game one. The Nair will not seal the deal, actually. Great DI right there from Void. Top right corner
Really?
of the stage.
Oh no, but he did. He accidentally fell into the wall. Either way, he was at 170. Like, all Nicko had to do was switch to smash art and just sneeze on him, and he was gonna die.
Yeah.
But overall, like, that was actually really intense, just because of the fact that Nicko at the very end, I feel like the momentum shifted the moment he held down by the ledge when he had to recover, and the backslash actually went above the ledge and clipped Void, and I felt like that caught him off guard because the spacing between that was pretty significant. He was able to go basically through the rolling distance of the stage just with his up B.
And honestly, it really goes to show Nicko was seeded last this tournament, 8th seed for the Invitational. But for him to win this set would mean him being at least 5th place, which means he outplays 2 other players. It must be a very satisfying feat for him to have gotten this far alone.
Now, I actually like this pick just because Void doesn't really have platforms to have to worry about from Shulk. Shulk loves to cover those platforms with the aerial, and now Void actually has more room to pressure Nicko and prevent him from trying to mix up his own landing.
Pulling out the Buster, try to get some early percent lead on Void, who can't seem to find an edge guard, right? Shulk's recovery, 2 jumps and an up B, which hits twice, but there's something about that up B which is so tricky to go against. With the way you can time both the hits of that up B.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it's just so big, and oh my gosh, he literally just ran up and got the up smash on Void. And did you see how early that actually killed? I mean, of course, that is Pichu.
That looks like an 80 or 90%, I think. Buster again coming here. It's actually, I like the strategy, and that shield almost broke.
Yeah.
Void needs to be a little more respectful of what Shulk can do in close quarters. 2 Thunder Jolts coming in.
Oh, the smash comes out. Not going to do that. Was a very scary situation. Void actually got in the read there. You saw the patience coming from Void when he tried to get the roll read.
But not much of a tech chase execution punish, actually.
Yeah, fortunately for him. Definitely needs to find his way to get in on this, but even Nair covering behind Shulk, it just makes it so difficult for Pichu to get in.
Nicko is playing so slippery right now. That Nair, excellent use of the retreating hitbox, which comes as you use the aerial falling back. Just out of shield, not quite going to do it. Oh my goodness, Nicko on the verge of a 3-stock victory on game 2.
Just has to poke him once, especially so close to the blast zone. That's definitely going to do it. I mean, the 3-stock, are we going to see? Oh, no, we're not, but he was set too high.
And there's a shield art again. He's so smart using that. He's like, we won't die, but only lasts so long, of course.
Yeah, I mean, that get-up attack was a good attempt, but Void was ready for it, holding the shield by the ledge, preemptively thinking that he was going to try to use the invincibility to get back to the stage.
Every time that Void tries to enter with an aerial, the sword just gets him first. He's having so much trouble figuring out a reliable way to get into Shulk's body.
It's difficult because, you know, Pichu usually tries to cross you up with back air on shield, as you saw right there, but Shulk's sword is so big that he can just literally punish you back after you try to cross him up.
All right, waiting here patiently on the stage. Void again, now that he's on his last stock, a high percent, needs to make some explosive plays happen. He's going for all or nothing moves with that forward smash, but it's just not being timed right enough. Okay, again, but barely missing it.
Yeah, we're probably going to see a smash art switch from Nicko. If not, probably switch to shield right there.
Yep.
And of course, in this game, actually, shield actually loses like the meter the more he gets hit.
Yeah. It's similar to Joker using Arsene.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a thing in Smash 4, but it is. And the cross-up with the back air, getting the hilt hit, and taking out Void
and
with a 2-1 right here set lead.
In a double elimination bracket, when you're in losers, Void at this point, this could be his last game of the entire tournament, or he can go on a ridiculous run all the way back to win the tournament. But it all comes down to this game 3 right here. Nicko showing that he has been ready for this invitational. He's been primed, waiting every single matchup, and poised to actually go on a run himself.
So I know for round robin, everybody played 3 games no matter what, but now that the seeds have been established within this top 8, are they going to be doing 3 out of 5, or are they sticking with the...
It's all best of 5 right here.
All right, here we go.
These are all best of 5 games played in a traditional bracket style. Going in here again, FD.
Yeah, I was a little worried right there, because you know, this is the game that could determine whether Void actually is out of the bracket or not. Nicko, already pretty strong start. He is in shield art, though.
And Void was actually seated fairly high. #1 ranked in SoCal, still showing decent performance at Nationals. So it's actually pretty much of a shocker for him to be at 7th place at the Invitational.
Yeah, same. And you saw the cross-up actually work there for Void, because Nicko didn't do up out of shield like he did last time. Gets the tech roll in. Of course, with jump, he does increase his mobility in the air, but switching to Buster, you already know he wants to finish, racking up his percent. Oh, that was really scary situation.
I thought if that lasted a forward smash would have hit with that up B falling down, it actually would have been death for Nicko, but he somehow lived one more day.
I mean, when he's in Buster, he increases more damage too, so that's all the better for Void right here.
And that shield again, you can get any grab you want on Shulk, he won't go anywhere.
Oh, great parry on the get-up attack.
Right. That's what you need more of Void right there. You need to have easy punishes on things that you can predict well, especially on offstage options.
And that's actually something that we saw in the last game. He used to do that so well with Sheik, where he was able to execute the punish in a way where it would guarantee the stock kill using Rich to his advantage. But, you know, in this game, he has to do it off of a parry, especially with Pichu by the ledge. It was the best situation that could have happened for him there.
Yeah, I can imagine pairing with Pichu is different. You're so small as Pichu. It's like, you know, I can time the parry, but I'm not even sure it's going to hit me because my dang hitbox is so small. My hurtbox is so small. Okay, no jab reset there. Nair to fall down. Great regrab. Goes for a forward air. Nicko still finds his way out.
Yeah, you see he's trying to catch the roll right there.
Ooh.
And just the tip.
That up tilt has been so effective in almost every Shulk player in sneaking out
It scoops you.
It does. It comes out so quick, too.
It comes out so quick and it scoops you. You can also try to slide with it if you try to pivot it.
Waiting here now, using that amazing Nair of Shulk to get in. And this is you can see exactly why a lot of people consider Shulk to be a top 10 character, even higher. Just the amount of options he has in the air in combination with Monado arts he chooses.
Oh, he actually he held down right there to go through the ledge again, trying to get a similar situation.
Oh, no way,
that
Nicko!
Changed everything right there. That's why you saw him switch to Smash so close to the blast zone when Void was getting edge guarded. That completely changed the pace for him, and now we're going to see the change of momentum in Nicko's favor.
Oh my, he's all over him. You really are reminded of how light Pichu is when you get hit by a move with such knockback like the Smash Monado art. If you're that close to the ledge, you are dead.
We saw what happened when the Buzz got hit by that up tilt with Smash art, and you know, Olimar isn't a heavy character whatsoever. Also a light character like Pichu, and honestly, just not surprised whatsoever if that fair connected and actually killed Pichu so close to the blast zone.
What's shocking too is that these two have played each other again, and that is it. Void is out of Thunder Smash 2 at 7th place.
Oh, wow. That was intense. And honestly, it just really looked difficult for Pichu to be able to close in that gap. Obviously, when you saw Void able to parry, as we saw into the back air, he was able to get the conversion necessary to take out Nicko's first stock. And I feel like in that moment, the match was definitely going into Void's favor. But the moment that Nicko went off stage with Smash Art, that was really the game determiner. That he really just kind of solidified his 3-0 over Void.
Not to make the dad joke here, but that result is pretty shocking.
God. You just
congrats to 7th place.
Inflicted self-damage, man.
It's always an honor to be chosen for an invitational, and Void, I'm sure we'll learn a lot from those matches moving on the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
And the events that follow through. But our first match is there, so Nicko now guaranteed top 5 in this invitational, and I believe he's guaranteed at least $750.
And you know what? And I'm really happy for that, just because I know Nicko doesn't travel as often as a lot of these other players that are at this invitational.
Right.
So I do believe he is ranked like top 5 in the PR rankings for SoCal, and I'm just really happy that he's able to show up what Shulk could do. I've been saying it for months that I feel like Shulk has untapped potential, and it's just because we really haven't been able to see the talent travel as often as, you know, we could have from other players. The only time I think we saw Shulk displayed by a top player was Salem.
Yeah, and that infamous Momocon set, which we now know is like proving that Shulk is a viable character. Nicko also holding that torch for us.